Welcome back to the channel. It just doesn't get any better than this. Hanging with my brother JC in his amazing F8. I didn't even know he's getting this. This is the type of guy he is. He just calls me and tells me, I went down to the dealership, saw it, wanted it, bought it. That's what real men do. People like me have to internalize, think about whether or not I should buy it, but he just doesn't mess around. And this is the first one I've ever been in, and quite frankly, the thing's just amazing. To me, probably too amazing. It's so friggin' fast that when it's going fast, it just doesn't feel like you're going fast. So what does JC do? He just goes even faster. So then we're going at warp speed. The most important thing to figure out is that what exactly prompted you to go to the F8? I mean, in this segment now, there are tons of cars in this price range. I know that you're a true Ferrari fan, but what was the deal with the F8 that pushed it over the top?
Ferrari in the speed. So I looked at McLaren, and I was looking at a Lamborghini Huracan, actually, which is, both are awesome cars, by the way. They're both amazing, and it could be argued that a McLaren might even spank the F8 if it's the right one and the right driver. But I ended up with a Ferrari ultimately because I like the build quality. Not that McLarens and Lambos are bad, but I just like the build quality of the Ferrari, and I kind of like the look of the F8. They've got the transmission in this thing is brilliant. It just shifts so seamlessly and so fast. It's incredible. It's like it literally is like what, I've never driven an F1 car, but it's what I would envision an F1 car to be like, driving-wise, and it sticks. The grip is tenacious as can be. They're both quite good. The one thing I will say, I think the Ferrari is going to hold its value a lot better than the other two. And I'm sorry to say that, Adam. I know you're a Lambo guy.
Nah, only partially, brother. Yeah. I am equal opportunity. So that way I can relate to everybody.
You are right. I am kind of a car racist in that regard. Exotic
the
car
man
racist.
said it, not me.
Yeah, you know? Exotic
I'm
car
just
racist.
along for the ride.
Yeah, I love it. The other thing is, Ferrari, when we go to Formula One races, they've treated us really well in the pits and stuff. And we've been to the factory. They treated us super good at the factory and all that. So, yeah, I guess I'm just partial to them because of that loyalty. That's all. Nothing really outstanding. I just am loyal to the brand. Some people like Chevys. Some people like Fords. Personally, I like both Chevys and Fords. But I did stick with the red car in that case.
Well, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean,
no.
For those of you that haven't been in an F8, I highly recommend it. I don't know that I'd recommend riding with this guy because unless you're used to going very fast and pulling a lot of G's, it could be quite frightful, to the point that Drew actually would request not to ride with JC for many various reasons. But for the rest of the sane people, yes, it might be the way to go. But the big question comes up, have you had any problems with it? I mean, it's, of course, still relatively brand new, but, you know, I mean, it is an Italian car.
Yeah, yeah. So, I have, 8,200 miles on it, and I got it in May, and this is just October 1. So, I put some miles on it. It had 3,000 on it when I bought it, so I got it for a sweet deal. And I've had one problem, and that was with you, my friend.
Don't do it. Well, for those of you that don't know, we actually filmed this car in Vegas a ways back, but it was like 110 in the shade, and the car started kind of doing things on its own, so we opted not to push the car really hard. But I'm happy to say that everything got worked out. The car's under warranty, and the best part is we didn't have to call for a flatbed in the middle of the desert. I didn't even know where he had taken me because we were covering ground so quickly, I kind of lost sense of where I was. But now here we are, back at his compound, and the car is running flawlessly. So everything is amazing.
Yeah.
Now the crazy part is, in between when all this happened, as JC looks for many various cars, he happened to go to Monterey Car Week, and I was actually at Disney World because my priorities are different than, of course, his priorities these days. But he actually saw the NSX Type S. So now the interesting thing is that he was considering getting a Type S as well. Now, this is a little bit of a different story versus his 550 because it wasn't going to be a trade-off for the F8 or the Type S. It was going to be an addition. But you're the one who saw it firsthand. I mean, what did you think about it when you saw it in reference to the other cars out there?
It stopped me in my tracks, to be honest with you. I was walking by the pits and I saw this red nose of what looked like an Acura that I'd never seen before. Because, you know, they have a signature face. And it actually just stopped me. And I was like, what the hell is that? And then we went in the pits, and on inspection, it was the NSX Type S. And I got to say, it's beautiful. It's just freaking stunning, beautiful. It's a massive departure from the NSX that is not a Type S. I think it's a huge improvement. It's what they should have made the regular NSX look like. It's beautiful. It truly is.
Now the question is to JC is, he's following down the Ferrari path. He's true to the brand, but will he consider adding an NSX Type S to his collection? Now, to give some background on what happened is that he was one of the first people that contacted me. It was true, I saw it when it was released, but as all of you know, it's just not the same seeing it in person. And since he was there, I contacted him, and he actually gave me the play-by-play live when he was looking at it. And he was a huge proponent that he's like, Adam, you must get an NSX in your collection, and this is the one you need. Well, I must admit, after seeing it in real life, there's no question he was spot on. But we have to double back, because is the car really good enough to even be considered by the true Ferrari fan?
It is. I think it is a good enough car. First off, it's Honda reliability. You just can't beat it, you know. That's the thing I miss about my old NSX, is it never left me stranded. This thing, at some point, someday in its life, is going to leave me stranded. That's the nature of the beast. So maybe I'm masochistic in that regard. Probably true. But the NSX is going to perform perfectly as Honda designed it to do. And it's, man, I saw one torn apart at Honda, and it's a very complex car. I was looking at it, it's like, oh my God, it's scary. But the good thing you take away from it, yeah, it's scary, complex, but Honda built it, so you know it's going to be built well, even though it's complicated. You know, space shuttles and things that go up in the air are complicated as well, and they seem to live. And I would put Honda in that same category, to be honest with you. So I would definitely consider the Type S NSX. That would be the one.
You know, my problem is that all I keep hearing is complicated, almost impossible to work on. These are things that frighten me a great deal. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be friends with this genius, and obviously George Kudo being a genius as well, so I have access to a lot of information, but I don't know, maybe I could be one of the unlucky ones. But the interesting thing out of all this is that even with JC's top tier cars, he's still considering a Type S, which speaks volume. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the thing is so crazy. I feel like it would be nice if they made more, even though I'm fortunate to be one of the 300. Would you agree?
I would totally agree. And that's actually why you should buy that car immediately.
Well, here's kind of the thing. So, many of you that buy exotic cars kind of know how this goes. Limited edition typically just means pay a premium. I mean, that's the best part about it, but usually you have to pay above. One thing I will say is that to give you an idea on the Type S, I mean, we both heard numbers coming in of about 50,000 over MSRP. And to be completely honest with you, it doesn't matter what it is, Lambo, Ferrari, McLaren. To me, that seems just pretty excessive. And I don't know, I think what we have to do is ask the man here, what do you think about that?
I don't like paying a premium. We're in the car business. We know what things cost. They're just taking advantage of a supply and demand situation. And I think it takes away a little bit from the car. Some people have bragging rights, like, oh, I paid so much over, so I could have the first ones out. Well, big deal. You like to throw away your money then. I can wait if I have to wait, but I'm not a big fan of paying over. Matter of fact, I was looking at an F-150, as you know, and they make an F-150 every 90 seconds, and its dealer wanted $3,500 over. Why am I going to pay $3,500 over sticker for a car they make hundreds of thousands of on a yearly basis? I'm not doing it. So I get it, Type S is special, but I'm just not that kind of guy that just, I got to go out and do it. And besides that, here's the other bitch. I don't have your money. See, you can do it.
My money. Please, man. This is the guy, he's living the dream. Well, I mean, he's like up here. He's top tier. I'm just like, I'm like a peasant compared to him. I don't even understand what he's talking about. He obviously he's inhaled too many exhaust fumes, too much race fuel.
No such thing.
That's what happens when you're just too crazy. But in any case, I will say in the back of all this that the real story is that at one point JC was highly considering looking at the Type S, and we were looking for one for him. But that was one of the biggest obstacles. Is no matter how great the car is, no matter how much he liked it, it's just difficult. Even when you're a multi-billionaire, to pay that overage. So he opted to not go with it, and maybe he'll still get one in the future, but it's hard to say.
If I was a multi-billionaire, by the way, I'd have a Gulfstream G650.
Well, I don't know. He is looking at the flying car. I don't know if any of you have seen that. You should check it out. I've been a huge proponent telling him he's got a small airport, like right next to his house. I was thinking he could take the flying car and fly to the airport kind of by my house. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right? And to that effect, his comment to me was that, Adam, that is kind of cool, but it is way too slow.
That is true.
So, getting back to the F8, obviously this is your favorite car in the stable right now?
It is. It is. We'll see what happens when I get the Studebaker and the Carmen Ghia going, and maybe the Lancia Stratos. But so far, this is a riot. It's just, I mean, I will go do a quick automatic start on some side street here where there's no cops. We'll do that. We'll have lunch. We'll come back and do that. And you'll see what an automatic start is like in this thing. And it's psychotic. It's just freaking nuts.
Well, we're all going to look forward to that, but let's double back just for a second. I don't know, it was only a week ago that I told JC I'm heading this way, hang out, want to see his cars, take the family to the zoo, Legoland, SeaWorld. Just in that short period of time, another car has been added to the list that he's going to build. This is a man that is just out of control. He's basically got this insane Studebaker that at some point will be covered on the channel. He's building this ridiculous off-the-charts Carmen Ghia, and now the Lancia Stratos shows. I'm not even sure. I'm afraid to leave his side because something new will come about. It's just endless. But here's kind of the thing I want to say about this, because this car is freaking fast. There's no question. But when JC first got it, he told me that it was just mind-bending fast. But let me ask you today, man, as you drive more and more.
I'm so afraid of this.
What about now?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've talked. I need another 100 horsepower. If 700 is good, 800 is better. That's all I got to say.
See, so that's the funny thing about my friend here. I keep telling him, you can just keep buying cars with more power, because this man's never satisfied. As you know, for me, it's all about being in the air, because if I was like him, I would never be happy. But getting back to the F8, so of course when I got here, he's like, yes, he said it is really fast, but it just doesn't quite feel as fast as when I originally got it. I said, yes, that is kind of in line with what happens with fast cars. They are super fast, but as you get used to them, they're not quite as fast. So, my friend, please tell everybody now what your new plan is.
A Lancia Stratos, a carbon fiber Lancia Stratos on a tube chassis, and I have two ways to go, and I'm leaning towards the second way because it's more in my line, but I want to put a turbocharged K-Series Honda in the middle of it and do a single seat car, try to make about a 1,400 pound car with 700 or 800 horsepower, and that could be my grocery getter. That's what I go to Ralph's with, you know?
Okay, so that's just insane, but again, let's double back to the F8, which we're kind of focusing on here.
Yeah.
Now again, insanely fast, everything seems good in the world. Adam comes to visit, not quite as fast as new, and what he actually told me was, he's like, Adam, I've been kind of checking into Novatech. Oh boy, here we go. He's like, they make this Stage 3 kit. He's like, do you have any connections with Novatech? I said, well, everything in the world is hard to get a hold of right now, but it just so happens Alex, who owns SP Engineering, is in tight with them and was able to get my SV suspension. So we are now checking with Alex, and as everything follows suit, JC would like 800 horsepower in the F8.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? If 700 is good, 800 is going to be better.
Yes.
Always.
So yes, it never ends. So I don't know, you could be like JC, just wanting more and more, and that's why, you know, his fiance, women have always been like supermodel quality.
Oh yeah.
Adam is more a conservative type person. As for me, I can just look forward to getting that hopefully in the near future. But other than that, we haven't eaten yet, and it's already deep into the afternoon. So my friend here is taking me to lunch so I can buy lunch this time, and then we will enjoy the rest of the day in the F8. So other than that, I will sign off and say, I hope all of you have a great weekend.
This is a good place to do an automatic start.
Okay, hold that thought. I guess we're gonna do an automatic start before we go to lunch.
So she'll light the tires up, but watch how fast this thing gets hauling ass. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
And that, my friends, is insanely fast. There's no question. I'm not going to tell you what the speed limit was on that road because it's pure insanity hanging out with my friend here. And that, again, is why Drew tends to not want to ride with him. Now, that was amazing. So other than that, I'm definitely hungry now, ready to eat. So I hope all of you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao. I had a threesome with Heidi Klum and Selma Hayek last night.
My life sucks.